Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely deconstruct the ultimate real-life superhero, the ant. We've all been sitting on the patio and marveled at a tiny ant dragging a massive breadcrumb across the concrete, right? But today, we're diving into a true scientific mystery. How do they actually achieve these legendary physical feats? We're going to look at the physics, the evolutionary anatomy, and the frankly mind-blowing biomechanics that make it all possible.
So you know pop culture icons like Ant-Man, right? Shrinking down but keeping human strength, or suddenly growing massive and tossing vehicles around like toys? It really begs the question, if we actually scaled an ant up to human size, could it just casually bench press a car over its head? Well, the answer is a lot more complicated than a comic book might suggest, and it all starts with a major biological cheat code.
The first massive advantage ants have is their pure, unadulterated muscle density. Just to put this in perspective, human muscles make up about 40% of our total body mass. But in an ant, muscles can account for up to 60% of their body weight. Their compact little bodies are absolutely packed with dense muscle bundles, which means they have an incredibly high baseline of power generation right from the jump.
Section 1. The physics twist.
To really understand our human-sized ant question, we have to introduce a massive plot twist about scale. It's a principle first described all the way back in 1638 by Galileo Galilei called the square-cubed law. Here is the suspenseful reality of physics. An animal's muscle strength depends on the cross-sectional surface area of its muscles, but its overall body weight depends on its volume. So when things get bigger, their volume, and therefore their weight, cubes, while their muscle strength only squares. Volume just completely outpaces strength.
So the crucial point is this: if you scaled an ant to the size of a house, it absolutely wouldn't be tossing cars around. Actually, because of the square-cube law, its weight would increase so drastically compared to its muscle cross-sections that its rigid exoskeleton would quite literally implode under its own crushing mass. So yeah, ants are strong precisely because they're tiny. Their small size is exactly what gives them that massive relative strength advantage.
Section 2. The wingless power core. Okay, so if staying tiny is their baseline, how are they maximizing that small frame? Well, look closely at this micro-CT scan of a worker ant. Do you notice what's missing? Flight muscles. Ant queens have these massive wing muscles taking up their entire thorax, but worker ants lost their wings. And in doing so, they expanded the front part of their thorax, the pronotum, and filled all that newly vacant internal space with raw, ground labor power, specifically massive neck and leg muscles. By giving up flight, they essentially engineered the perfect thorax. They took those flexible, vibrating plates that insects normally use to fly and just fused them together into this rigid thoracic box. This evolutionary trade-off is huge. It turned the ant's midsection into a highly optimized, rigid power core built solely for one thing: central place forging. Basically, they're built to carry heavy loads back to a single nest. They became the ultimate earthbound heavy lifters.
Section 3. The 5,000 neck joint.
All right, so we've got this incredible thoracic power core, but now we have to move up to the single tiny joint that holds all this heavy lifting together: the neck. 5,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. Researchers at the Ohio Supercomputer Center ran centrifuge tests and 3D simulations, and they actually proved that an ant's neck joint can withstand up to 5,000 times its own body weight before failing. No way, right?
So how does it not just snap under that pressure? Well, the structural secrets of the neck are basically a masterclass in biomechanical engineering. It relies on this really unique soft-to-hard material interface. The soft membrane of the neck transitions flawlessly into the hard chitin exoskeleton of the head, which distributes stress evenly so the head doesn't just pop off. And interestingly, much like modern robotics, they achieve their maximum structural strength when the head is aligned perfectly straight rather than turned to the side.
Section 4. Bite force allometry. Now that we know their neck can support the weight, how do these creatures actually grip massive objects without dropping them? We can see how this grip works using some amazing data from a recent bioRxiv paper. In a lot of animals, strength scales isometrically, meaning if you get a little bigger, you get proportionally stronger. Simple enough. But leafcutter ants show what's called positive allometry in their bite force. Larger worker ants don't just have proportionally stronger bites, their bite force is mathematically disproportionate. The large workers hit a staggering 2.5 times harder than you would expect based on their size alone. That's what allows them to slice right through incredibly tough plant tissues. Section 5. The balancing act. Okay, so now they can lift and hold massive weights, but how do they walk without just toppling face first into the dirt? This tracking data shows us exactly how. The blue and red triangles represent their feet on the ground. Carrying massive off-center leaf fragments drastically shifts their center of mass. Honestly, if they walked normally while carrying a giant leaf, they would immediately lose their static stability and completely wipe out.
To counter this, they execute this brilliant mechanical stability protocol. First off, they use an alternating tripod gait, ensuring at least 3 legs are always firmly planted. Second, when they're carrying heavy loads, they overlap those stance phases, keeping even more feet on the ground simultaneously for extra contact. Finally, to prevent tipping forward, they tilt long fragments backward. But remember that neck joint we talked about? It does have a physiological limit. They can only tilt their heads back to about a 155-degree angle.
Section 6. The power reserve paradox.
Which brings us to a massive behavioral plot twist regarding what they actually do out in the wild. 8.78. Lab tests from the Journal of Experimental Biology prove that leafcutter ants have the isometric capacity to lift a whopping 8.78 times their body weight. That is their true, near maximal physical ceiling. But here is the paradox. If you go out into the rainforest and observe them, larger ants intentionally pick much lighter leaf fragments than they can actually handle. Despite their immense, mathematically proven strength, they purposefully choose loads far below their maximum capacity. So why? Why would the ultimate heavy lifters sandbag their own workouts? We can actually resolve this mystery with this quote right here from the researchers. Power that is not used for lifting can be applied to increase walking speed or to overcome obstacles along the trail. The ants aren't lazy. Not at all. They're incredibly tactical. Think about it. If you max out your lifting capacity, you stagger. By picking a lighter leaf, they keep a massive amount of mechanical power in reserve. They use that reserve power to fight sudden wind gusts, carry the extra weight of unexpected raindrops, and navigate rough, inclined terrain without failing. It is an absolutely perfectly optimized survival strategy. So, from the square cube law keeping them tiny, to trading their wings for a thoracic power core, to keeping their strength in reserve just to battle the elements, ants are pure mechanical marvels. Now, I want to turn it over to you. If you had a 5,000 times strength neck joint, what would you carry? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more scientific deep dives. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.